what was it, 2010, we were able to host the World Equestrian Games out in Kentucky, and they happen to have reining at the World Equestrian Games now, and I happen to know the judge and head of the ground jury, Greg Darnell, who also is a great mentor when it comes to reining horses and silversmithing and all kinds of things. So I saw that as a great opportunity as a young shoer to go and see how these horses are shod, how they move, what are they asking them to do, what kind of ground are they showing in, because all that affects the performance horse. And really understanding at that level, how those performance horses work, and what it takes to shoe a horse at that level. And I got to see a lot of their feet and a lot of the problems they deal with and a lot of the things that work. And being a young shoer, having that experience, when you come into a barn to shoe somebody's reiner, you can share that experience with them, and it really makes them feel more confident in your shoeing ability. Because we all, a lot of us have that, maybe that physical ability to trim feet well, but to take it to the next level, that performance horse, it's an equine athlete. I really have a big heart for the equine athlete. Working those horse shows, is invaluable, and like you said, even when you're not getting paid, it's important to spend that money, that time, through those mentorships, like working with other shoers that shoe those top level horses, going to those top level horse shows or even the lower level horse shows, and seeing how they move, seeing the ground, seeing how the ground's prepped. I like to watch those Kaiser drags go around and how they prep that ground. Because it tells me a lot about what kind of sliders are going to work and what kind of sliders aren't going to work.
You had mentioned that at the Futurity, you saw something about the ground that you hadn't been aware of, and it changed some things you did. Why don't you talk about that a minute?
Well, the trainers can kind of tell you, but until you really go and see it, you don't really understand it. And even on TV, it's different. You go there at Oklahoma City, it's great ground. It's unbelievable, and it's a red silt. It's just a red silt, and when you pick it up, it feels like velvet in your hands. When you put it in your hands and you go down and touch that ground, just gives you a first-hand experience of what the horse is feeling on the bottom of his feet. I believe being hands-on and feeling your horse's feet tells you more about the foot than looking at it from a distance. I watch Neil Miller shoe all the time when he and I still work together, and it's funny watching him trim the foot, and it looks totally wrong, and I'll pick the foot up and it looks completely different, and touch and feel the foot. So seeing that ground out there and how silty, soft it was really changed how we started doing front ends and working with Gabe Garrison and GLG performance horses, and going to the Futurity and seeing how those horses were slipping out of lead when they're running hard and how they were slipping on turnarounds. We kind of almost needed more traction. It was kind of odd. Putting traction on a reiner doesn't make sense. But that experience is invaluable. It really is.